Next guest from the Jackson YMCA, the new Sports and Youth Development Coordinator, Michael Calderone. Michael, good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back. We were talking before the show. You were here how long ago?
13 years,
Wow.
2006. So it's been a little bit of...
And it still sticks with you. It was a memorable experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, very positive. Yeah.
I remember too, because at the time you were playing tennis.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were in the States this time of year for Lumen Christi.
Correct. Yeah, I was in my junior year and did pretty well at the state tournament, and then defended my title the next year. So yeah.
And you come from a tennis family. My son Joe played tennis with your older brother, and you played tennis.
Correct. Yeah, Joe and David Cavender, they were a big part of me playing tennis at Lumen Christi. When I was in 8th grade, they came up and they basically recruited me on the team. And yeah, so they're a big part of my journey. I still hit with Joe from time to time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've kept tennis in your life because after high school you went on to Western Michigan.
Correct.
Played tennis there.
Correct. Yeah. It was an amazing home for me after high school. I did really well and got a scholarship and got a college degree, and then, it was a really, good chapter for me.
Glad to have you back in Jackson.
Absolutely.
But one thing, Michael, there are no tennis courts at the Jackson YMCA.
Correct. You need to use your creativity. If you really want to play tennis at the YMCA, you can. I love to hit off the wall. You can hit off the basketball, walls, or you can go down to the racket ball courts. But a big and major growing theme at the YMCA is pickleball. It's like it's a blend between tennis and ping pong. You use a paddle and use these, wiffle type balls, and it's a really growing sport. And so that's one thing I'd like to integrate, especially in our community.
Yeah, I know several pickleballers, and that's all they talk about. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier on the joints, especially the shoulder muscle.
Well, so you probably will help with pickleball, but what you've been hired for at the Y is to be a youth development coordinator, sports and youth development coordinator. So is that something new? Have they had that job before?
Yeah, they've had this position at the YMCA. They focus on beginner level kids ages 3 to 8. So t-ball, soccer, biddy basketball, a little bit of cheerleading, flag football. And so my job is to coordinate all that with the volunteers and the coaches. And then the youth development, I'm helping out Megan Hunt with our summer camps and our after-school programs, and that's a major part of the YMCA, especially with the summer camps coming up.
Yeah, here it comes. It's summer
here.
Camp season.
Yep.
And registration is now open for summer
It
camps.
is now open, correct.
So tell us a little bit about the summer camps. Maybe there's a family tuned in, they've never been to the Y for summer camp. They've got kids that are just at the right age, and what can they take advantage of? It's
an amazing opportunity. I mean, if you need some time away from your kids, it's 10 weeks long. So June 10th to August 16th. We're a licensed traveling camp, so we're going to go all over the place. Michigan Adventures, Cedar Point, Warren Dunes, all over the place. And 4 of the days are going to be traveling. 1 day is going to be at the YMCA, and it's kids ages 4 to 14. And right now we're finalizing the staffing, because we're going to have close to 200, 250 kids a week. And so we need close to 45 staff. And most of them are college or adults, young adults, and they're lifeguard certified, first aid, CPR. So it's safety is the major theme at the YMCA, but it's just an amazing opportunity for kids.
Are you still hiring staff?
If you're really top notch. It takes a little bit of time, but we're very serious about who we hire, and with our staff, they need 30 hours of training. So we really take it seriously, and
that's before they can even start working.
But yeah, before they even see the kids, and a lot of our staff is leads, returning staff. So it's just really integrating the new staff with our current.
So you're involved with the training. What kinds of extensive training that you put the counselors through?
Yeah, well, they'll need to get CPR, first aid. We do lake training. We do training at the YMCA. Let's say if there's the scary situation where there's a child missing, how do we handle that? And then the communication to the beginning of the day to the end of the day. just how can we all stay on the same page.
All right, if you're interested, sign up. And there's a cost, but there are options that you have for financial assistance.
Absolutely, and that's a major theme that we'd like to promote at the YMCA. We'd like to have a 2-week notice, so if you're interested in a certain camp, come in, 2 weeks before. We can offer 10 to 50% off. So, and if you have an amazing child who's very polite and wonderful, there are a few scholarships available. So.
And it's still cheaper than daycare.
Right, that's right. And they get to be outside and swimming and playing sports and things like that.
Did you ever go on any of the Y camp?
I did not. I was more like a Spring Arbor University basketball camper and things like that. I was playing more sports.
We see a lot of the campers downtown because they go to the library, they go to the Michigan Theater.
Correct.
Kids movies, and they're just out.
Yeah. Yep. We have like a Harry Potter day, and we do all sorts of fun stuff.
And there's
Keep
some
them busy.
that they fill up. At
Correct.
Some point.
Yeah, they're at capacity. A lot of our specialty camps, like gymnastics, swimming, we have like a boot camp week. They're at capacity. Each week is a little different.
I know that one of the areas that you're very interested in, because you yourself have type 1 diabetes.
Correct.
And that is working with people, especially kids in the community that also have type 1 diabetes.
Completely, yeah. I was diagnosed in 1999. I've had it for 20 years, and it's a difficult disease to manage it with athletics, and life gets busy. And at Jackson High School, they have close to 10 to 12 type 1 diabetics. And we have a few people on staff at the YMCA that also have type 1. And it's a disease that needs to be talked about, and the biggest piece for me is gathering support and just knowing that these kids, you're not alone. It's very difficult. You have to give yourself shots, or if you have the pump, you have to be attached to something. And my major thing that I'd like to focus on is staying active. Exercise is the invisible insulin, and it's such a crucial part to diabetes, whether you have type 1 or type 2. And the major thing for me was I accomplished a lot, and I'm almost thankful that I had it, because it really made me diligent about certain things. So.
But you've always been athletic.
Yeah.
And that's I think a big misconception about diabetes. There are two different types.
Correct.
One has nothing to do with lifestyle.
Correct.
And that's yours. It's also known as juvenile diabetes.
Correct.
What were your symptoms? How did you know there was something wrong?
Yeah, it's an autoimmune disease, so something happens with your immune system. I was sick. It was wintertime. I had a fever. There's also stress that can happen. Like, let's say if you lose a loved one or there's a certain trauma in your life, they don't really have an exact reason why you come with type 1 diabetes, but I was really dehydrated. I was wet in the bed. In the 4th grade, when you're wet in the bed, something's not right. I really had bad headaches. I went and checked with the doctor, and my blood sugar was 500.
Oh my gosh.
So you're supposed to be in between 80 and 120 in the perfect world. And then, went to the hospital, and I have an amazing mother, Peggy Calderone, and she was a nurse, and she had me giving my shots right away. So I was, and Dr. Halsey's my endocrinologist, and he really gave me the freedom. But there's hurdles to your life with type 1, but if you can overcome them, there's just a lot of really good things to share.
I think one of the big issues, and we were talking a little bit about, I have a nephew, and one of his issues that he talks about is the cost of insulin has doubled for him in just the last 3 or 4 years. And so people are, they're rationing.
It's scary. It's terrifying, and it's one of the reasons why I'm back in Jackson. I was living out west, and I was that age where you're no longer insured. And so I was paying out of pocket for insurance. Insulin can, you can go to the pharmacy and insulin can be up to $300. Let's say you can't afford that. It's, it's like the Dallas Buyers Club. You got to find ways to find insulin, and it's very scary. And so that's one of the amazing things, the YMCA opened up, the spot opened up, and, full-time staff at the YMCA has amazing health insurance, so it's just, you know, by the grace of God, you know, very thankful. So I don't have to worry about it as, you know.
And I know you've had a diabetes program just last month at the Y, and you're going to continue to offer that kind of education as part of what you do.
Absolutely. I mean, there's these kids with type 1, they're all over the place. And so just trying to gather that support. The JDRF walk is in the first week of September. And the YMCA is going to look to do a kickoff the second week of June, get a team together, raise some money, but ultimately just raise support. You know, just having these kids be around other type 1 diabetics, it's powerful, and, you know, a lot of beautiful things can come from it.
Awesome. Well, good luck in your new position, starting at a very busy time of year.
That's right.
Jumping right in. And if you're interested in any of the programs that Michael talked about, particularly the summer camps, hop on their website or give the Y a call at 782-0537. And camps start as soon as school's done, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Happening fast.
Yeah, it gets here fast and it goes fast. All right, the new Sports and Youth Development Coordinator at the Jackson YMCA, Michael Calderone. Up next here on JTV, we will, we're celebrating birthdays. Roll out the cake and ice cream. The birthday club is next.